Hello, Cryptonauts, and welcome back to another episode of Cryptocurrency Chat. Today's host will be Cryptolyssa, and the guest speaker will be me, Blockchain John. With that said, let me go ahead and get this disclaimer in before we get started. As Cryptolyssa's third victim of the day. Disclaimer: this content is for entertainment purposes only. Any comments made by the host or guest is not financial advice. With that said, Cryptolyssa, it's all you.
Yay. Thank you for being my third victim or volunteer, I should say, volunteer. Um, so, we always like to start our podcast off with an icebreaker. What is your favorite animal and why?
Yeah, my favorite animal. I love dogs. Dogs has always been my thing. I think dogs for me they have this ability to show emotions. So like I can connect with them to that level. Like hey, and I like to be able to teach them certain things, right? Obviously, you teach the dog to be loyal or fetch a ball or just sit. I like training dogs. It's like one of my passions. I love when I can help a dog just learn something new. So from a dog that knows nothing to having the ability to now like this dog knows me. This dog knows what I expect of it, and when the dog obviously accomplishes its task, then it's rewarded with little treats. And that's why I like dogs. Dogs are so fun. Little dogs, big dogs. I actually had a small dog. Actually, here's a story. Before crypto, way before crypto, I was young. I think I had my first apartment. I had a small little mini pincher dog. All right, it's a tiny little dog. And lived out in the countryside, and my dog. I used to leave my dog in the backyard running around. And since we lived out in the countryside, we don't have a backyard fence because it's just like it's an open field in the back, right? It just kind of views out to the open field. But there is a jogger's trail there. So one day I was working on my car, I was doing an oil change on my car and had my dog out. And I remember while I was underneath my car, but I didn't connect the dots at the time. I remember I was doing my oil change, and I remember somebody calling my dog. But I'm so busy doing my oil change underneath the car that I'm not paying too much attention to my dog. Once I was done doing my oil change, my dog was missing. My poor dog. And I looked.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah, and that's when I realized after I was done with my oil change, put my car down, and I'm ready to call my dog in, and my dog was gone. My little dog. It was a tiny little dog, like the size of just my forearm. A tiny little dog. Fun, super energetic. That dog was always running around everywhere. But since we have a trail in the back, a jogger's trail, people would always be walking around, jogging by well, cycling by, and we have no fence. So the dog just kind of goes out there to the field as well and then comes back. And yeah, his name was Macho. Macho, my little doggy.
Oh, I'm such an animal. This breaks my heart. I'm
Yeah,
such an animal lover.
I'm sorry. I'm
Why
sure.
are you trying to make me
Oh
cry?
no,
Oh,
sorry.
no.
That's my story. My little dog Macho, man. Yeah.
Oh. So, do you have a favorite breed or just any
I
dog in
love boxer. I
general?
love boxers because they're so playful. I would like to have a boxer, but I just don't have the place really to house a larger animal like that. But boxers are so playful. I don't know if you ever had a chance to really play with a boxer dog, but they're really fun.
No, I've just dealt with pit bulls, German shepherds, and chihuahuas. So, no, I've never really been around boxers. So, that's an interesting fun fact. I had no idea. So, can you tell us a little bit more about what you used to do before crypto?
Before crypto, we're talking about before 2010, because that's when I found out about crypto. So before 2010, um, I was like a night auditor at a hotel, and I was going to college in the daytime, right? Trying to get my education going. So that's the reason why I chose that job. I was the night clerk, which there's not much activity going on. You just pretty much just tally up the numbers for the night. It's not that it doesn't take you all night to do that, but it gave me a lot of hours throughout the night to really study. So that's what I used to do before crypto. Go to college and work at night.
So, did you finish college? If
I
so, what's your degree
I
in?
did not finish college. Actually, no. I ended up dropping out. Yeah, yeah. But my degree was going to be in criminal justice with a was it business administration.
Interesting. So, what brought you into crypto?
That's a good one. That's a good one. You ready for it? Okay. So you remember how I said I was a night auditor? So at that night auditor, it was a hotel. It was a hotel, and we had our own in-house security there. Um, on the weekends, right? So he came by one night, and he's there like regularly. I know the guy, but I didn't know how obsessed he was with Bitcoin until one day he came up and he had to really just like pretty much evangelize in a very almost aggressive way. It was like almost psychotic because it's midnight. And I got this guy, and he's Russian, by the way. He has a very like hard Russian accent. You know, I couldn't replicate that, but this guy was like yelling at me like, "Hey, you need to get into Bitcoin," and I have no idea what he's talking about at the time. You need to get into Bitcoin because the American dollar is going to fail. Actually, this had to be in 2009. Yeah, it had to be in October 2009. Now that I remember, yeah, because he said because by the end of the year in 2010, the American dollar is going to collapse. It's true. It's true. You need to buy Bitcoin now because you're not going to have your money's going to be worthless. And he just kept ranting on and just like yelling at me like almost with this attitude that I'm not getting it. And I'm looking at him like confused like what are you talking about, dude? I'm just leave me alone. Let me study. I'm just sitting here just trying to read through my educational books, you know? Let me do my thing. You do your thing. Bitcoin, I don't know what you're talking about. Unbeknownst, I really wish that he just, showed me Satoshi's white paper because that's what really triggered things off. But he didn't. He just kind of just shouted at me saying, "You need to get away from the American dollar because it's going to collapse." Um, and yeah, that was the initial seed, but I still didn't really check into it until it slowly started jumping onto my radar over time. Started hearing the word Bitcoin, this Bitcoin, that. Huh? What's this Bitcoin? You know. So I kept looking a little more into it, like, okay, what's this? Huh? Bitcoin. And that's when I got a hold of Satoshi's white paper. Mm. And I read it for the first time. And it does talk about obviously the peer-to-peer blockchain and the public ledger. And that's what fascinated me was the whole public ledger idea. Not the fact that Bitcoin was worth something, because at the time I think it was like sub like $200 at the time. But to me, it wasn't really the monetary value. It was the fact that there's a system that is detached from centralized banks and it's trusted by decentralization and people all around the globe. Like, that's what blew my mind. Like, there's people out there that don't know each other but is still doing commerce with each other. Um, how is this even possible? It doesn't make any sense. Even after reading Satoshi's white paper for the first time, I had to read it multiple times to really sort of get a grasp of what it was. But even then, you don't truly become an expert at something unless you actually do it, right? You can read books and books and books forever and forever and forever, but unless you actually do it and get your hands get the actual hands on and the skills going, you'll never truly know what it is. So I ended up purchasing my first Bitcoin, and I think it was around like 2012. Yeah, it took a couple of years for me to really just slowly look through Bitcoin and small things jumping on my radar. But Bitcoin was fascinating to me at the time. This was before anything ever really came out. There was nothing really there. I think Dogecoin was there, maybe. I think there was like Feathercoin. There was like I think Redcoin. There was smaller coins that don't even exist anymore. They're long gone. They're in the crypto graves right now. Um,
So,
Go ahead.
how did you buy your first Bitcoin?
Good question. So my first Bitcoin, unbeknownst, I bought it on this a game that I've never in my life played before. It's not even a game. It's actually what we consider nowadays the metaverse. right? Back then, I don't think they called it the metaverse. I think they just called it like a virtual world. It was called Second Life. So in Second Life, so I did some research. I want to buy my I want to buy Bitcoin, and a lot of these links were telling me at the time, because there was no exchanges back then. Really, they didn't exist. So you either had to mine it or had to find someone that had it that's willing to do a trade with you. So one of the ways that you can do it was on Second Life. So I think what I did was I had to purchase like one of those in-game items from Second Life using my PayPal account, and then I had to find somebody. I had to use my avatar, move around the Second Life metaverse, and find somebody out there. I had to message around to the community. Hey, anybody out here considering selling some Bitcoin? I'm around with some monies. If you want to do a quick swap. And somebody approached me. I don't know these people, right? They're approaching me like, yeah, I'll take the cash. I was like, okay, I want to buy this Bitcoins. Let's see how many Bitcoins I can get with this, right? And I think my first transaction was like $20, right? And I bought it. I gave him whatever in-game item it was. I think it was in-game tokens that they had, and he sent me. I had a mobile wallet, that I gave him my public address, and he sent me the tokens to. He sent me the bitcoins to my wallet, and that was like the moment I said, "Oh my goodness, it's actually in my wallet. There's $20 worth of Bitcoin sitting in my phone right now, or on the ledger. I can see it. This is crazy. This is real. Yeah, I don't even know these people, but I just did a trade. Huh? That's pretty cool. I need to look more. And of course, the next step is I want to learn what mining is.
So, do you consider yourself a miner?
Uh, Not right now. Not right now. I think in the early days, when I was tinkering with it, I was just so fascinated with the technology that I wanted to see it. Actually, I wanted to learn how to make it work. Because keep in mind that when I got into it, I knew nothing about coding, nothing about developing. I don't have any of that kind of skills or experience at all. All I knew at the time prior to all this was literally how to turn on and off my computer and how to get onto the internet. That was it. That was it. I knew
In-
no command lines, nothing.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
yeah. So then I said, okay, let me buy my first miner, which at the time I think my first ones were small little grid seeds. They're small little like wheels, and I bought a few of those. I think I bought like four of them. I think they were selling them for like 20 or 40. I think they were $40 a pop. So I bought like four of those, and tinkered with code for the first time ever. I spent countless nights trying to make this thing work because I knew nothing about code, and trial and error over and over again, trying to download software, trying to change the config file, like all this stuff. Back in the days, I didn't know any of this. I'm just trying to follow these step by step guides that were so horrible. They were garbage back then. Nowadays, everybody's spoiled. I mean, you can watch a YouTube tutorial and you can follow that step by step. Back then, that really didn't exist. You had to like read through some hard step by step lessons. It was, ugh, ugh. But I got it. And the first time I turned it live, and I started mining, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it works. It works. I'm mining on the pool.
Interesting. I didn't even know that about you. Um, so besides mining, what have you done anything else?
Yeah, actually, so the rabbit hole just went deeper and deeper, right? So I downloaded the blockchain core wallet, and that filled up my computer pretty quick. But I had a chance to at least tinker with it. Nowadays, I wouldn't even dare try to do that on my computer now. I would have to buy like a 2 terabyte external hard drive, and maybe like a Raspberry Pi, and do that separately, and not touch my computer, because there's so much data now on the Bitcoin blockchain. It's unbelievable. Um, but I downloaded it. I got a chance to really look at it and tinker with it a little bit. And then after that, then I got into after I started mining my Bitcoin, and now what do I do with it? I have Bitcoin in my wallet. What do I do with it? So I got into exchanges and day trading, and yeah, that wasn't a fun experience at all. Mm-mm-mm. I tried a few different exchanges. I don't think they're even available in the U.S. anymore. But back then, the regulation was a lot less restrictive as it is now. Um, and there was a lot of exchanges here in the U.S. that I was using, and I was day trading. I was buying crypto, selling crypto, using my Bitcoin, and trying to sell at the bottom, buy at the top. But unbeknownst to me, not being any kind of expert in trading, I was always selling at the bottom and buying at the top. Yeah, yeah. So that was not a fun experience. I lost a lot there. And then after that, I got into cloud mining. Do you know what cloud mining is? Have you
What
ever?
is cloud mining?
Cloud mining
What
is
is it?
cloud mining is not a thing that exists anymore, but it's something that in the early days people had the opportunity to buy contracts from companies that hold the hardware, and you just pretty much pay them in fiat, and they'll mine the crypto of your choice into your wallet. So you pay them what, 40, 50, $100, and they'll set you for like a 3, 6, or 12 month contract, and that miner will keep going and going. You'll buy a certain amount of hash power, and for the duration of your contract, you'll have that hash power mining until the end of your contract. And so while I was mining on the cloud, right, through a company, which means that I didn't have the hardware, which is awesome because what if it broke down? If it breaks down to them, whatever, that's on them. I paid for my contract. They still owe me all this. Keep it going. But if it happened to me, I got to come home. And you know this from experience, right? When a miner goes down, you have to invest a lot of time to get the miner back up and going. No, with cloud mining, there's obviously they have a fee associated with it. But with cloud mining, I don't have to worry about that. Let the company deal with that. All I have to worry about is just opening my wallet and making sure that it's the coins are deposited. That's it. That was nice. But unbeknownst to just about everybody in the early days was that you weren't really getting paid out properly, and they were taking a lot of cuts. And yeah, but regardless, in the end, I think if anybody held onto those coins that they mined, of course, by now they would have made a lot more money than their initial investment. So in the end, it paid out. But at the time of it happening, it was garbage because you were only getting paid like 30% of your actual investment. It was horrible at the time. So if you're trying to make income right there on the spot, it wasn't happening with cloud mining. Mm-mm.
So, were you doing that for Bitcoin or other cryptos?
I did Bitcoin, Litecoin. Yeah, I think it was just Bitcoin and Litecoin at the time. Those were my two contracts. So it was a SHA-256 contract and a script contract.
Interesting. Very interesting. I had no idea what cloud mining was, or I'd never even heard the term of it. So when you said that, I was like, what is cloud mining?
Yeah, it's no longer a thing now. Yeah.
So, obviously, Bitcoin is the number one cryptocurrency that most everybody knows, and second most known cryptocurrency is Ethereum. Um, do you own Ethereum, or do you obviously because you were early to the cryptocurrency spectrum, right?
Hmm.
I would think you would have Ethereum.
So actually, I got into the Ethereum ICO at the time. Yeah, that's how early I was. I was literally there on day one. Um, let me backtrack a little bit. I don't want to miss this little nugget here. Before I got into Ethereum, um, Ethereum was a proposal by Vitalik Buterin, and at the time there was a lot of buzz about this kid. I think he was 18 at the time, 17 or 18 at the time. And I remember, and by this time I'm already deep into crypto, and I'm seeing this kid on YouTube, and a lot of people are talking about him. And usually somebody that young looking for investment like an ICO, and at the time nobody really knew what an ICO was, but he's looking for fundraising from a lot of these big suits, and we're talking about a lot of wealthy money. And I kept watching these interviews with him. I'm like, how is this scrawny kid, having these billionaires surrounding him in these suits and ties, and they're all so disciplined around him, so hush hush. They're not saying a word. They're letting him speak his mind, and the stuff that he's speaking of is not like general English. It's hard code stuff. Like you need to know code to know what he's talking about. But these investors didn't really care. They just want to be next to him in their suit and tie to buy whatever he's selling because they believe in this kid. And Ethereum's not even out yet. It's just an idea. It's a white paper. That's all it is. But they're willing to throw millions and millions of dollars at it. It's crazy. It's crazy. So when I saw that, I go, this kid probably has something. So that's when I picked up the Ethereum white paper and read through that. And when I saw the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine, and at that time there was nothing out there like it, right? So when I read that, I was like, whoa, this is literally, and now what we call it as Web 3.0. But at the time, I was like, whoa, this is like a decentralized internet. The EVM literally is the internet, and the websites, like on the internet, the websites that you use are pretty much like the smart contracts that are being built on top of the EVM. This is what I was reading on the white paper. It's like, this is literally, everything is going to be decentralized. This is crazy. I need to get into this. So I looked into it. They were having an ICO coming out, and I said, I need to get in there. I need to do that. Unbeknownst, I not only invested my money, my fiat, in cloud mining. I also fronted my my crypto for staking. There was, or earning interest. So those are locked in. And this was literally like my contract was about to end, but the ICO was coming out, and I was like, oh no, I want to be like the first ones to get it, right? So when the ICO came out, it came out literally at 3 cents. I was like, oh no, I gotta get in there quick. But my money's stuck in here. I can't do anything. My fiat, my crypto is all stuck in a contract. Lesson learned, not your keys, not your coins, right? So they're all stuck there, and the contract wasn't going to end until like that weekend. And it was like a beautiful thing because it pretty much just went sideways and then skyrocketed. It went sideways for a couple days. Well, technically from 3 cents, and then it jumped up to like 25, and then 30 cents, and then from 30 cents it went sideways for a couple days. And that's where I got in, around 30 cents, and I bought as much as I could. That's pretty much where I flipped out of Bitcoin and switched everything over to Ethereum. And was very happy at the time because it only went higher and higher after that. So I capitalized on a lot on Ethereum. Yeah, that's my Ethereum adventure.
So do you regret getting out of Ethereum?
Let's do Bitcoin. Do I regret getting out of Bitcoin? Yes. Do I regret getting out of Bitcoin? Ethereum, sorry. Ethereum, yes. I regret pretty much dumping any coins. I should have held on to every coin that I invested into. Every single one of them. Even the ones that aren't popular now, I still would have made a good 50x off of that instead of a 4x or a 10x. Obviously I still made money off of it, but it could have been a lot better. So after now, Ethereum's the big boom, and people are learning what Solidity language is, and people are developing stuff. Now it's decentralized. Everybody out there here in the Silicon Valley is jumping into crypto and developing platforms, for the EVM, for the Ethereum virtual machine. And that's where I had the opportunity to go to meetups. These meetups are so fun. I went to so many Ethereum meetups. It got to the point that my face started to become familiar at these meetups. And I'm just a sideliner. I'm not a coder. I'm not a developer. I'm just sitting there around all these developers, all these geeks and nerds that are just talking code, not knowing what they're talking about. But I'm slowly picking up words here and there. These are free events, so I'll just sit in there and just listen to them talk. And it got to the point that I noticed that in order for them to really get to the public, public attention, they need to speak in general terms, not in developers' terms. And I think we've had this conversation in the past that a lot of developers don't really have good communication skills when it comes to interacting with the public. They can talk development, they can definitely talk about all kinds of stuff in development, but when it comes to the general people, they didn't know how to really do that. So as these developers are trying to really get the attention of the general public, they're asking for anybody that wants to help expand these meetups and maybe host events. And of course, that's where I stepped in. At that time, I already have a Facebook with a few, I think almost like 10,000 followers in my channel, which was at the time Cryptocurrency Chat. And I did a lot of things. I was always sharing news articles there. And this is early. I think we're talking about 2014, 2015. I think 2015. And I did a lot of communications through there with my group there. And now I have the opportunity to come out here and start hosting these meetups. And I loved it. I loved getting on the stage. I loved introducing people. Not still, keep in mind, I still don't know when it comes to development what they're really talking about. My job was just to go on stage and say, hello, everybody. Welcome to this Ethereum meetup. Today's speaker is so-and-so, and they're going to talk about so-and-so. Welcome to the stage. And then everybody would applaud. If you have any questions, please be respectful and raise your hand. And when our speaker's ready to ask for your question, he will ask you. Okay, and that's pretty much my job. But it allowed me to stay within this network and just learn more about what Ethereum was. And that's when I got the privilege to invest into a lot of ICOs, which is interesting because I was thinking about this the other day. ICOs were I was literally paying for people's thoughts. That's crazy. I'm literally throwing thousands of dollars for people's thoughts. Like, it's not real. It doesn't exist. People show up and go on the stage and go, I have a thought, and I think this will be successful. It doesn't exist. It's only a thought. And everyone's like, yes, here, take my money. I like your thought. And I'm there just like a dummy, just like everybody else. Yes, take my money too. Take it. You know, make the money go burr.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so obviously you had a Facebook that you said had several thousand followers. What made you dive into doing podcasts?
I think it was just a transition from everything. So, just from one transition to the next. So after Facebook, I actually got banned off of Facebook. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's a centralized company and they don't like me. They don't like crypto. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No. I think it's a dumb reason, but it is what it is. I think I was streaming. I was live streaming the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup, and Facebook didn't like that, so they permanently banned me. Yeah, don't ever live stream the FIFA World Cup, and I lost everything. All my photos, all my contacts, everybody all my networks that I had there, my group, it was all just vaporized. Wow. Centralized. And keep in mind that it wasn't a person that pushed that button. It was a bot. The bot saw that I was live streaming, and they said, okay, you're live streaming the game. We can hear it. We can see it. And the bot says, goodbye. Doop. Delete everything. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So I took
horrible.
I took a step back out of public view, and I just focused on myself, on my crypto journey, in secret. Still continue to mine, and buy more crypto with fiat, just buying little chunks at a time. And it was during the last halving on, I believe it was May 11th, 2019. I already forget when the halving was. My first episode was on Bitcoin halving. Um, I think it was 2019, right? 2019.
I don't know.
I
I'm
think
not big on Bitcoin. I couldn't tell you.
I think it was May 11th, 2019 was my first episode. I have to look back on my podcast, but I purposely wanted to be a part of that historical moment. So I recorded my first podcast episode. And if you go back on the podcast, you'll see like there's 365 episodes. If you go back to day one, all I'm talking about is just the Bitcoin blockchain and the halving. That's historic. That's never gonna come again. That's already gone. You know, that's crazy. That's crazy. Now we're here with 365 episodes down the pipeline. Um, and it's been a roller coaster up and down through those moments where I'm literally in the early days, and I'm talking about like around 2012. And the reason why I didn't dive deeper into crypto sooner in 2012 because there was a lot of stigma associated with Bitcoin at the time, and um, I wanted to dive deeper at the time, but the stigma kind of shunned me away a little bit, and so I would just poke at it from time to time just to check things out. And that's why from 2010 to 2012 I really didn't do much. I was just tinkering with it because the stigma was more like if you have Bitcoin, you're a criminal, you are a terrorist, you are a rapist, you are a drug dealer. This is all bad stuff, and I don't want to be really associated with that. So I kept that more or less a secret at that time because I was more or less scared for my life. Because if you held any of this, you're a criminal, and you know what happens to criminals? They go to jail. I don't want to go to jail for holding Bitcoin. Like that was the bad stigma. I mean, we had Mount Gox went down for corruption, or for a hack, should I say? And then Silk Road for dealing drugs. That was a bad one. And people are literally getting robbed in the streets for their phones that have their private keys with them. Or somebody would go up and do like a fiat to crypto trade out in the back alley. Like, why would you do that? These news articles would pop up like somebody gets shot for buying crypto in an alley. Like, yeah, you don't do that.
That's horrible. I had no idea about the stigma behind that, but I was also a sophomore in high school in 2000. No, I was a junior in high school in 2012.
Yeah,
That kind of tells you how young I am.
yeah.
Um, so I met you through Ravencoin and the Ravencoin community.
Mm-hmm.
And can you tell us a little bit about your involvement in the community and um, kind of what you believe in Ravencoin?
Yeah. So I think it was about a little over a year that I got into Ravencoin, and Ravencoin was introduced by I'm forgetting his name. He has that little Shiba dog. I always forget his name. He's on YouTube. He talks about crypto stuff all the time. Uh,
Oh, Boss?
yeah, Boss Coin. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Boss,
So that
yeah.
dude was always pushing out videos about this Ravencoin, Ravencoin, Ravencoin. I was like, what? I don't really want to get into another project. I'm good with what I have. I'm fine with it. But he kept talking about how easy it was to mine and how you can create NFTs. And this is well, actually, was there NFTs when he first talked about it? I don't remember now. It was, anyways, mining.
No.
Mining was the thing. So he kept talking about that. So I said, okay, fine. Let me jump over here. Not that I was still mining at the time. I was still just buying crypto with my fiat. So I really didn't have a G. I mean, I have my small little rig here, but that wasn't mining much. So I'm already having this expectation that I'm not going to mine anything here. So I said, okay, let me try it out. I downloaded the QT and started mining, and it was actually profitable. I was like really surprised. Like, wow, this is actually real. This computer that is almost a decade old is still mining Ravencoin. That's pretty cool. And that's where I got stuck with it. I jumped into the community and I started talking with them, and that's when I became aware of NFTs, and the rabbit hole and got deeper. From one thing to another, it just keeps getting deeper and deeper. And then I learned about IPFS. I learned how to build my own IPFS node that I still host on my computer. and all these different projects that are out there. The community is the number one thing that kept me in Ravencoin. It's the appreciation for one another that's in that community. That is, there's no comparison to any other chain out there. All the other chains that I tried networking with, it's more like they shun you. And hey, I'm human, man. I have feelings. That hurts my feelings when you're talked down to. Oh, you don't know what this is about. I'll get out of here. Unbeknownst to them, that I've probably been in crypto far longer than the masses. It's a new project. Yes, let me learn about it. Let me jump in. Let me ask a couple of questions. What's this about? You're already too late. It's like, dude, you just barely came out. I just want to learn what's going on. It's like, no, you're a waste of time. So, yeah. But Ravencoin, I never had that feeling. People are always willing to answer questions, always willing to help out. And it's always been that way. Even today, there's still, I get to sit on the sidelines and watch new people come into Ravencoin and ask those same questions that I asked when I first joined. And still to this day, the community out there is still willing to answer that same question 1,000 times over. Even Tron said that. I think there was a recent interview that you guys had on Twitter Spaces that he said the same thing, that he'll answer the same question 1,000 times if it brings new people to the community, because that's what he wants. He wants to build this whole decentralized network. More community is awesome. We want that. It continues to grow, man. This is awesome. I like it. I like Ravencoin.
So would you say it's your favorite cryptocurrency?
Yeah. As of right now, I say it's my favorite because it's the easiest one that I've been able to adopt and use. It's not difficult. It's not rocket science. You can download the QT. You can do. Two things. If you want to be truly decentralized, download the QT. Download your own IPFS node, and you don't have to use a centralized, or not a centralized. Well, you don't have to use an intermediary company, right? You can do it all yourself. That's how easy it is. Two things, right? QT and IPFS node. That's it. Good to go. Um, that's it.
So, so, so if you don't want to download the QT and you don't want to run an IPFS node, for somebody like me who has zero coding experience or zero, knowledge of any kind of cryptocurrency, what is the more user friendly option?
Well, of course, there's Mango Farms. Mango Farms is one of the easiest wallets out there that you can download. It's a light client wallet. So what that means is that you don't have to download the entire chain. And it's pretty cool the way it works. So Mango Farms, what they've been able to do is locally on their network, on their hard drives, they've been able to download the entire chain and then port that data through a portal. Let's just say a portal, right? Through that portal, there is an encryption file that blocks any sort of access to sensitive information, such as your username, your password, your private keys, or any kind of data that is being held onto your wallet directly, right? So that's what's pretty cool on the front end, that all the stuff that you see on your wallet is technically encrypted, so Mango Farms doesn't actually see that. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That's one of the reasons. I mean, I have the core wallet, but I also deal with Mango Farms because it's easy and user friendly.
Hmm.
Um, so yes, thank you for that plug. That's what I wanted you to say.
Yeah. Well, it's not the only wallet that I use though. I do so I use Mango Farms. I do use the QT. The QT is probably my primary. My mobile wallet is either going to be Mango Farms or Zelcore. Zelcore is not perfect. There's still some bugs that need to be fixed out, but I do like the fact that it is one of the wallets out there that is a multi-coin wallet, and it does have Ravencoin slash asset aware, and that's the biggest plus why I like Zelcore wallet. Multi coins, which means you can have big like our coin tree here. What do we have? All this is provided by Zelcore. Where are we at? Zelcore. Where is it at? There it is. Ah, there. Oh, it's over here. Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Raven, Asset Aware, BAT, Litecoin, Flux, Monero, USDC, GUSD, DAI, Dogecoin, SNX, Cake, Cell, Stellar, Matic, and there's a ton more coins that you can add to there. And those are all just from Zelcore. Obviously, you do see that there's
That's
Raven Asset
that's
Aware there, so that's why I like it.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so where do you see crypto going in the next, say, 5, 10 years?
3 to 5, 10. Oh man. Um, One thing's for sure that's unavoidable is that there's going to be more regulation, more taxation on crypto. That's unavoidable. It's going to happen. The reason I say that is because lawmakers actually, it takes them years in order to push out a new law. So they still haven't even caught up with ICOs, really. I mean, ICOs has already come and has already gone in the crypto space, but lawmakers still hasn't really even pushed out law against that. You know, the next phase is NFTs. Forget about it. They're still trying to think about ICOs. You know, now we're moving to the NFT era. You know, that's the next phase that we're dealing with right now. There's no laws or regulations on that, but trust me, in the future there will be. And then we're transitioning into the metaverse. There's going to be taxation on that as well. I mean, that's unavoidable. That's the dark truth that's happening in the future, in my opinion. Now, the awesome thing that I like about what I believe is going to happen in crypto is that it's going to continue to expand. There's going to be more mass adoption. There's going to be more corporations getting involved in it because, in my opinion, once you read Satoshi's white paper, I think the genesis of all this, of all crypto, you read it, and it's only like I think like 11 pages. It's pretty short. You read through it, you roughly understand what it is, then jump over to other chains and read their white papers, and you truly start to understand what decentralization is and why it's going to benefit companies and cut out that middleman. Everybody's going to be jumping over to that. You know, as of right now, like right now, I can create my company on the Ravencoin blockchain and only pay what's 50 bucks, $50 to create a main asset, maybe another $10 to create a few coins or assets. So under $100, I can create a company that is instant. It's all around the world. It's on the chain, and I don't have any middleman. It's just me and my clients for under $100. That's unbelievable to think about. You know, it's crazy,
And it's all public.
and it's public. Yeah,
And it's
which I don't.
and it's publicly.
Which I'm gonna kind of just say I don't really like that 100%. Say for example that I want things to be private. I want to have that option to be able to privatize some of my transactions. Say for example I'm gonna go to a medical appointment. I don't want the blockchain to know that I'm going to a medical appointment that has my medical records on file, where I'm going to show my doctor that I'm going to. Obviously, it's encrypted, and it allows me um, the proprietary rights to show my doctor exactly what my doctor needs to see. They don't need to have all my files. They just need to see what they're asking for. And since I am the custodial holder of all my information, I have the choice to show them whatever they request or whatever I want to show them. Right? I don't need the blockchain to know all that. No, they don't need to know that stuff. They don't need to know how much I paid my doctor if I have medication. The blockchain doesn't need to know that. You know, what if I go to Walmart, or I go to Target, or go to Subway, or get some tacos? I love tacos. Or I go to a taco store, get some taco or taco truck. I gotta have the taco truck. I don't want to know how many tacos I purchased. I don't want that to be on the blockchain. You guys don't need to know that I ate 10 tacos, man. That's crazy. That's exactly. So you're laughing about it. Somebody out there is gonna laugh about that when they see that on the blockchain. That's like, come on, man. You guys don't need to know that. You see what I'm saying? So there's got
So
to be
do
some
you?
stuff private.
Well, of course, there's got to be some stuff private, but I mean, for the most part, I mean, do you think that privacy could be built in to potentially a fork?
Yeah, yeah. I think when it comes to Ravencoin, which we're talking about, I think P2SH does have the ability to add like jeez, I'm forgetting what it is.
Restricted assets?
Not restricted assets. No, I'm talking about another update. I think it's I'm throwing this out there. Taproot, Taproot. I think it is, or Snore signatures. Bulletproof for sure. It's bulletproof. These are all protocols that are built on Bitcoin blockchain. But since Ravencoin is a fork of Bitcoin, those protocols can easily be integrated. Not easily, but can be integrated into the Ravencoin blockchain. And what those do gives you the option, like right now with Litecoin, you have Mimblewimble. That's what it is. Mimblewimble. Mimblewimble gives you the option to obscure your transactions, or keep those transactions public. Those are pretty cool. That's a pretty cool feature, which means that, say for example, like I said, I go to my doctor. Well, this particular transaction, people don't need to know what I'm doing there. I'm just gonna go visit my doctor. All they see on the blockchain is that a transaction has occurred. John created a transaction. That's it. Transaction.
Yeah.
That's it. Now obviously, if you track the transaction without it being obscured, you can see that this transaction has been completed with my doctor, and then the doctor has records on file there at the office that, hey, I had a broken leg, and I need a medication for pain or whatever. Not that I have a broken leg or anything, but that stuff is like, that doesn't need to be on the blockchain. I went to the taco truck, and there was a bad crime that happened down the street. Now that since it's on the public blockchain, now all of a sudden I'm a suspect because I was there at that time. It's like, no, man, leave that alone, man. I don't want to be associated with that. I didn't see nothing, man. East Side tacos are the
Yeah.
best, by the way.
I love tacos. I'm a full blown taco lover over here. So any good taco truck, I'm there. I'm super super there.
But yeah,
Uh,
privacy, man. Privacy on the blockchain, I think, is a big thing, man, for sure.
so when you first started in crypto, did you ever see NFTs becoming as big as they are now?
Mm, mm, no, to be honest, no, no. Let me see. My first NFT I'm trying to think about was it was on Ethereum, and it was what was it? I think they were like little fairies, like Axie Infinities, or Ethereum on. So back in the days, there was this project. It still exists. They just rebranded from Ethereum, Ethereum, and they've rebranded to Ethermon. And that still exists. That's still rolling hot right now. That's pretty much. I like Pokemon. I don't know if you guys like Pokemon. I love Pokemon. So when I heard about Ethermon, which is pretty much like a sort of like a spin-off, its own version of Pokemon, but on the Ethereum blockchain. So I'm literally owning my own monsters on the blockchain. So those were my NFTs. I still have a lot of those. They're worth, I don't know how much they're worth, but I'm sure they're worth something. But I can't do anything because Ethereum and smart contracts and transaction fees are pretty darn expensive. So we'll see what happens when proof of stake comes out. We'll see.
So is it safe to say that you're not liking the whole gas fee with Ethereum,
Oh,
and that's kind
I
of why
hate it.
you're sticking with Raven?
I hate it. Yeah, so I pretty much abandoned Ethereum, and I don't do anything now. Absolutely zero. So in the early days, what I did like about Ethereum was that when I was playing Ethermon, I was literally paying anywhere between 3 to 7 cents a transaction. You know, that was pretty cool. I love that because while I was battling, every time you battled, there would be a transaction fee associated with that, and you need to be able to battle in order to upgrade your mon or evolve him to the next stage. So you need to gain this XP. So every time you battled, you would have to pay a transaction fee. So 3 cents here, 3 cents there. Not bad. I had fun. It was great. But nowadays, that same transaction is going to cost you, $30. It's crazy, crazy. I'm not doing that. Nobody's doing that. Yeah. So
So it's safe to say you like Ravencoin
I
NFTs.
I like Ravencoin, but they say there's still no game out there yet. Dot dot dot. I'm sure there's gonna be one being developed soon. So for the most part, what I use is Raven and BNB. Those are my two coins that I use quite regularly. Now I do hold a lot of coins, and I have the majority of them staked on the Celsius network, or not staked. They're lending. They're lending my coins. Loaning my coins on the Celsius network, and I've pretty much been there in the early days and have been there ever since, and I've had no issues with them. I'm earning interest every single Monday. It has not failed. After all these years, it has not failed. I receive my payout every Monday morning. So when I wake up, get ready to go to work, instead of frowning about going to work, I look at my phone and ching, there's my crypto paid out. Crypto on crypto interest. Love it. So yeah, I have a lot of
So
coins.
So would you like to make crypto and like the podcast is your end goal to do that full time and quit your normal 9 to 5?
Um, I love talking about crypto. I would, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I would not mind it at all, for sure. There's obviously a lot more to do than just talking about crypto. You can obviously develop. You can help other projects. You can help start up businesses. You can just be a person that just gets the ball rolling. So yeah, I would love to be in the crypto space full time. That would be one of my goals. You know, I hope that in 2022, that's like something that I can really just flip the switch and say, hey, I'm gonna jump into crypto full time. As of right now, that's not happening, but I am building a brand, and you are part of that brand with C3 Media, and I hope that C3 Media here in the near future does become an actual a global brand. You know, I say global brand because we are reaching nearly I want to say like 100 nations right now on the podcast. So it's growing. It's growing.
That's great. 100 nations. I mean, crypto is worldwide, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I mean, it's great that I think, so many cryptocurrencies are kind of a second opportunity for people in life. And, that's part of the reason why I joined crypto was because I saw it as a second opportunity. But circling back to NFTs, do you have your own NFT? And if so, can you talk a little bit about it?
Oh, oh, okay. Let's see here. There's a C3 coin that I did create, and that's pretty much a gift coin that is it's an asset coin on the Ravencoin blockchain. That's pretty much gifted, and I'm sorry, Cryptolyssa, I have not given you some yet, even though you've been on a few episodes. So these coins that I created were are meant as gift coins for all my guest speakers that are on the podcast. And for every minute that they're on the podcast, they received one C3 Media coin as a gift for just being on the podcast. So I've dropped the ball a little bit on that. I'm a little behind, but I am slowly catching up. So when it's your time, Lissa, you'll get them. Don't worry. I will ask for your address when it's your time. Another one. Let's see. There's a Ravencoin torch that I have that is coming out during the Ravencoin happening, which is coming up in what is it like 12 days? I think it's like in 12 days, right?
Yeah,
Jesus,
like
that's
January
crazy.
11th.
Ugh,
Yes.
my goodness. Yeah. So we got the Ravencoin torch. That is a pretty cool concept. It was actually not my idea. It's something that I found digging through the Ravencoin Discord server and saw what other people were doing. And this was a project that didn't quite really get off its feet the way it was envisioned. And I think a lot of it had to do with it wasn't really tracked the way it should have. It was kind of just thrown out there and just see what would happen with it. But this time around, now that I recreated the Ravencoin torch, the idea is that I created 1 million of these Ravencoin torch, which are assets on the Ravencoin blockchain. You got to have an asset aware address. I will start off with a million, which I have them, and I will send out 999,999 to the next person, right? And I will make sure that I document that. I created a channel here in Discord that is called the Ravencoin Torch, and I would have say, for example, you're the next person I'm sending it to, Lissa. I would have to get your address, get your name, and just push it there. So I would say sending to Cryptolyssa, and then there's your address, so that on the blockchain we can see where it's at, where it's sitting at. Because the last one, nobody knows where it went. It kind of just got lost, and it's no longer moving. It's dead. The goal here is that we can keep track of it and keep it moving across the world. I want to see this torch go everywhere, and everybody has an opportunity to get one coin out of that, right? So there's 1 million of them. You keep one, then you send out the 999,998 to the next wallet, and then so on and so forth, and just let it travel. I want to see this thing succeed. Yes, yes. There's a bunch of more assets that I've created. That I created my book. That's another one. That's probably my biggest one that I'm actually really really proud of. One is that I'm actually now, I'm forever on the blockchain. My book is forever on the blockchain. Wow, that's crazy. You know, I've sold my books on Amazon, but I didn't get that many sales. It was really disappointing. It was sad. It was more of a just sitting there. It's sad. But now that I minted it on the Ravencoin blockchain, man, as of right now, since we've been speaking, no joke, Lissa, I've already sold 2 books.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah,
Buy John's
buy
book.
my book. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It doesn't stop. These books keep selling, and keep selling. And I only created 1 million, and I only want to really sell 1 million. It is for transparency. It is still a what's the word where you can add more books to it. It's
Oh, reissue books.
reissuable. That's right. Yeah, reissuable. But as of right now, I want to sell just 1 million. I'll be happy with that if I can sell 1 million. That's like a goal of mine. Just sell them. Cool. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, and there's a bunch
It's
more that I'm creating. There's a bunch more. I created a C3 Media Rainbow token, which is another giveaway that we're doing here in Discord server. We got so much stuff going on. It's crazy. We're coming out with the C3 Media sponsorship shirt, coming out with a bunch of people in the Ravencoin community that are going to be a part of this. It's going to be a pretty cool shirt.
So if people listening wanted to buy your book, what marketplaces are they available on?
Oh, for sure. That's going to be on Just NFTs, RV NFT, and Ravenist. And it looks like right now, the hot one right now that everyone's buying is on Ravenist.
Interesting. Ravenous was the last platform I got into, but for me, I think it's the most mainstream one.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I just got into it this weekend, or this past weekend, and I'm surprised that the on ramp seemed a little quirky, but after you get through it, it's cool. I'm in, I'm plugged into the network, and we're good to go.
So, last question before we end this podcast, because I know we could probably go on forever, is do you think women, and I shoot myself because I wish I would have asked Jake this question, was do you think women belong in blockchain?
Oh, for sure. Listen, come on. That's the reason why I'm having you host this podcast. I believe in you. I believe in women. I believe women can do exactly what men can do in crypto. It's just I think women just need to just take a little more time to see what's truly going on here. I'm not sure why there's a lack of women in crypto. I wish I knew the answer. But that's why I have you as a partner here in C3 Media. I want you to investigate. I want you to find out what's going on because it's been so difficult for me to get women to be a guest speaker on the podcast. I've had a few, but even then, it's like these women that I've had on the podcast. They're more machismo. They're more machismo women that are in very high profile leadership positions. But I'm looking for like normal women, mothers, a sister, maybe an elderly woman that's just getting. I want to see that. That's like the real people. I want to see that in blockchain. So I believe, yeah, absolutely, for sure. I want to see more women get in it. There shouldn't be a reason why they're
Awesome.
not.
I'm glad that we kind of ended that here, and thank you for giving me the opportunity and kind of believing in me and swooping me up under your wing and saying, "Hey, I believe in you, and you can do this." And 1,000 times over, I
Hmm.
appreciate you, and I just hope that we can make things happen. So
Oh yeah,
thank you so much for being my third victim or
third
volunteer.
victim. For sure, for sure. Thank you, thank you. I guess that's pretty much it. I check out our website c3media.tech. That's a decentralized website. It's in the current state of being revamped. I did get a chance to look at it just earlier today. It's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah. So with that said, actually let me do the close that right. That's what I need to do. Listen,
Yeah.
you make me nervous.
Oh, why do I shouldn't make you nervous.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's wrap this up. With that said, Cryptonauts, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I love comments, so leave plenty of comments. And of course, share, share, share. If you want to take it to the next level, you can definitely help donate to us, to the C3 Media platform, with your crypto of choice. Obviously, let's see where we at. There we go. Switch over here.
We got
And
a zillion, guys.
there's a zillion. We
No,
got
just kidding.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Raven, BAT, Litecoin, Flux, Monero, USDC, GUSD, DAI, Dogecoin, SNX, Cake. I love Cake. Cell, Stellar, and Matic. Obviously, there's our website links there at YouTube, Discord, Twitter, Patreon, and our website. All in the link in the description below. Cointree/C3 Media. With that said, Cryptolyssa, close us out.
Jack stats and HODL. Adios.
Adios.